the church to teach this in improv because it's just, that's such a big part of the church and judgment and being perfect, whether you're in the clergy or you're in the congregation, accepting our humanness and our imperfections. I imagine you incorporate that a lot in your improv with the clergy.
Oh, so much. Going back to yes and, when I'm talking to faith communities or clergy members, I talk about yes and I've got your back as the way that the divine loves us to set the stage for what we're going to do in improv. This idea that when you ask the question, and it's such a vulnerable question, Jesus, do you love me? Or the divine, however you name the divine, do you love me? The idea that you're going to hear a resounding yes, 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 that you just imagine a chorus of yes around you, enveloping you. Yes, I love you.
Yes, and I love every part of you. I love your imperfections. I love every bit of you. Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to create space for you to become the most flourishing version of yourself. And that's rooted and grounded in authenticity. So yes, and I've got your back. So on your best of days, on your worst of days, on every day in between, knowing that you're surrounded by the divine, I start there. And then that is kind of how we come into this idea that we don't have to be perfect. And not only that we don't have to be perfect, but that our imperfections or the things we would call failure are really opportunity. And in improv, we reframe those things. We call them gifts, because often the thing that isn't meant, the happy accident, is exactly that, is a happy accident. It's something that then turns into what becomes the funniest point or the focal point or the best point of a scene that an ensemble is doing together. And man, when you take clergy and you put them in this environment, especially if they haven't been affirmed or haven't felt supported, if they're really struggling, this is like oxygen. It is like learning how to breathe. This idea that you can come into a community and you can have mirrored back to you your worth, being told that your job isn't contingent upon you being perfect all the time, and or that your humanness, that your mistakes are really opportunities and invitations for people to see some of the most beautiful parts of your humanness and vulnerability. And that when clergy then can mirror that or demonstrate that for congregations, look out. You have a congregation that can do incredible work in their community.